if you could stick around for a few minutes. I have a couple things that I need to say, and it's going to be kind of bittersweet in some ways. Some of you I've been able to talk to in person, and I haven't been able to get to all of you. Time did not allow that. So I'm going to kind of cut to the chase a little bit and share with you what's going on with our family. It's, again, kind of a mix of excitement, but also some sadness intermingled with it. And that's, the excitement is I've been offered a ministerial position back in the state I grew up in Rhode Island. And our intent is to take that position, and I would start there this summer and begin pastoring back there. I have a friend back there, and it's a long story as to how that came about. Wasn't really expected. During this COVID season, Jill and I have talked, and ever since we moved up here 15 years ago, we've talked about some point heading back to the East Coast to be closer to our family, but felt like that would be way down the line, and that was kind of always our intent, especially as we became more comfortable here and loved this church and loved our friendships here and our fellowship here and loved the community and our kids' involvement. So this has been home for, again, almost 15 years. And like the rest of you, as COVID came about, our gears were going somewhat. We didn't have any specific plan or anything, but we considered what it could look like at some point. We think of our parents that are aging and other family members that we've been apart from for over 2 decades of our lives. We've been apart from them. And so it's been on our heart just to consider it, and then in a kind of unexpected way, I have one friend who pastors a church in Rhode Island that was previously a very small church, and he and I have talked over the years, had sharpening, good conversations and good fellowship, and then kind of lost touch, and I just happened to reach out to him a few months ago to say, hey, just trying to begin to think through down the line what it would look like or what kind of network of churches and others would be back there. So just to reestablish relationship and think through that. And I did not anticipate, him saying, hey, Jeff, our church is growing a lot and I really need help in a lot of the areas in which you're gifted. And would you consider that? And at first I was not really inclined to accept, but then over time we had more and more conversations, and as Jill and I have talked, we just kept coming back around to the same idea of, wow, this seems like a really good opportunity, and it would allow us to be closer to family members that, like I said, we've been apart from for a long time. And in the uncertainty of the world we're living in, we've just thought, wow, this is a good opportunity, and to be able to even be closer to our parents specifically in their season of life that they're in, both mine and hers. Yeah, and so I intend to take that position. I'm really thankful for it. I'm excited about it and what that entails, but it is mixed because this place and you people have been very precious to us. And I want to quote 1 John 4. 1 John 4 verse 12 says this, and this captures what has been my experience and our experience as a family here. It says, no one has seen God at any time. If we love one another, God abides in us and his love is perfected in us. And that word perfected is not we experience his love perfectly together. It's not that. It's his love has been brought to its intended end in us. And I can't imagine feeling more, and in the last several weeks, as I've reflected back, I'm so grateful for how God has made his love very real to me, my wife, my family, the fellowship we've had, the safety we've had, the ability for me to just be myself and not to have the typical pretense of a pastoral position has been unbelievably good for me. And the relationship with people, especially the people we've known the longest, the Brewers and so many others here, it's truly been a manifestation, a real, tangible manifestation of God's love for us, and we see it as nothing less than that. And so with great gratitude in my heart, I tell you these things, and with sadness because we will miss all of you deeply. So I'm gonna have Don come up here in just a minute, but let me say, I'd love to talk with you. I know there's a lot to process there. There's a lot of questions that you probably have. This is, for some of you, a little bit out of left field, and I apologize for that. But I'm happy to talk with you, happy to continue to build a relationship with you. We intend to stay, I said, until this summer, and so we plan to help with the transition process and to just make the most of the time we have. And I plan to continue in my pastoral responsibilities of preaching the gospel and teaching and counseling and doing all that while we're here. None of us know how long we have. We take one day at a time, right? So I intend to keep doing that. Thankful for the way the leadership team has talked about that. And I'd allow you to just process and then feel free to talk with me. But we did want to make that clear to you. And then as the leadership team is now talking about, okay, what's transition look like? We felt like timing-wise it would be best to communicate sooner rather than later and allow you to, again, process and talk with us. And we, as always, we've been an open book here. And so I trust the leaders, Matt and Don and Jack, will be helpful, and others as well. So with that, Don, would you come up?